Edward Martin is suing his friend, Jonathan Porter, for $1,200 in phone sex calls and adult movie charges he claims Jonathan ran up while living with him. Edward says he didn't find out about the charges until Jonathan moved out, and he's angry that Jonathan would deliberately stiff him like this. Jonathan says he appreciates Edward's letting him stay rent-free, but claims he never called any sex lines or ordered any adult movies and refuses to pay.
All right, so Mr. Martin, tell me what your claim specifically is, and then Mr. Porter, I want to hear your response.
Well, we had been friends, like I said, we had worked probably a little over a year together and stuff, and when the situation arose, he came into our home and we allowed him, to stay there, not paying any rent or bills or anything, because we knew he was going to go off to school in August.
So you were kind of trying to help him through this time until he started school later on?
Pretty much.
Why are you suing Mr. Porter? Just give me that and then we can go back and do the details. Why are you suing him?
When I finally got a phone bill, it was $500 and some odd that had 900 and 700 calls on them, the sex lines. And so I was kind of dumbfounded.
So that's why you're here today.
That's correct.
That you're claiming that while Mr. Porter was basically a guest in your home,
correct,
that he used the 900 and 700 numbers and that he incurred
correct, as well
these
as
charges.
The cable bill, there's pay-per-view channels on there, like to sex channels and stuff like that. The entire time I've had my cable, I've never ordered any cable pay channels.
All right, fine. So for the record, the combination of both the cable as well as the unauthorized long-distance calls to these 700 and 900 numbers.
That's correct.
Total $1,033. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Now, having said that, Mr. Martin, let me turn to Mr. Porter. What's your response? Is it true that you were a guest in their home?
Yes, ma'am. We had a mutual friend, and he did move to Hawaii, and I did house sit for them, and it was understood that I could stay there free of rent. I wouldn't, and they never did ask me for anything. I'd throw
Which is
it
very
here and
gracious of them.
Right, and I understand that. I agree to that.
Are you claiming that you don't owe him this money?
Now, on the cable bill, yes, I do. I do owe that money, and I will admit to that.
Okay. And how much is the cable bill?
The cable bill is $113.20.
Okay, $113.20. You agree that you owe the cable bill. Now all we're talking about now are these long distance calls and to the sex lines and to the hotlines or wherever you were calling. That's why we're in court.
And when
Mr. Adams.
We tried on several occasions to get a hold of him, and we didn't know his phone number where he was staying at, and so we had his pager number, so we kept trying to page him. He never called back, so...
Is it your position that you are not responsible for these 900 and 700 calls?
Some, yes. I'd say no, not all of them.
One 15-minute phone call on there that I can think off the top of my head was $110 for 15 minutes. Somebody was doing something right for that kind of money.
So how do I know that you all didn't order the cable?
Actually, I have the times on the cable and the phone. There's times that where I would have been at work or he would have been at work during the times that they were done. Okay.
Why would you extend yourself like this to this man? I'm trying to understand this.
Because my mother raised me right. I mean, she raised us that if there's people in need, you always help. And that's the way I looked at it. It wasn't that he was so much in need, but he was a friend. And as a friend, I was a loyal friend.
Mr. Porter, you moved into their home. They were generous, they were open, they trusted you. Now, while you were in their home, you took advantage of their generosity, you abused the situation, frankly. You get on the phone, you have racked up over $900 of calls to the sex line in their home. That is ridiculous. Then when they call you to try to get it straightened out, you mysteriously just disappear on them and don't stand up for it, because the first thing you should have said is, I ordered the cable, I owe you the $100, $113. Let me see the phone bills, let me work this out. You really do not deserve the kind of hospitality they extended to you if this is how you're gonna repay their friendship. You are going to pay every single dime of the money that you owe them. I am therefore entering a judgment in favor of the plaintiffs in the amount of $1,035. Nothing further, we will stand adjourned.